Alright, revisited episode 3. I know we said we were going to get away from the anime stuff for a while, but it's our show, so there's really no saying this. I don't know this dude. We're going to have to keep saying this. Don't know this dude, nothing against him, much against Jinbe.
I think it goes without saying that Oda is a great fan of themes and patterns when it...
Oh, he's a theme monster! He's a theme monster! Oh my goodness.
We talked about this when we revisited The Brilliance of Golden Wind. I have never thought about the theme in One Piece. The overall theme. Very recently, Oda has started adding some really weird themes, or some really socially relevant themes, such as slavery and racism and all this. You sure you had the theme of, you could say you had the theme of religion for something like Skypiea, but it's not really a religious theme. It's just some dude that's called God.
It's just something that's happening there.
It's just something that's happening there. And until really Boa, I couldn't really see it. You know, Arlong Park has some racism in it, but I wasn't like, wow, the theme of racism. I understand the theme of racism, but I wasn't just like, you're just mushing it in our face with theme, Oda. So I already disagree that Oda has this thing of themes.
He also hasn't traveled with the crew even a single time. How is that? Why is Jinbe's arc so very different from the other Straw Hats, even though he fulfills pretty much all of the criteria that constitute a true Straw Hat?
Can I pause this real quick? What first off, what's a false Straw Hat?
Yeah, if somebody didn't have a tragic backstory, I would have been like, don't put him in the Straw Hats. I'm like, whatever, who cares? We don't know Kara's backstory. I want her.
A bunch of people wanted Vivi. They never knew her backstory. What's Vivi's backstory? Her tragedy is in the present. As far as we know, she was just some spoiled kid.
So it's not a prerequisite to have a tragic backstory, because Usopp, his mom died. He's a liar. He's been alone for a while. That's nothing compared to 50 years of loneliness, or you can't sleep at all without looking over your shoulder like Robin. It's completely different. So, is there a limit to the tragedy? If somebody lost a pinky toe, it's like, oh, well, they lost a pinky toe, and that's a bad thing. So, does that count for the tragedy?
Zoro's friend and rival died in some just freak accident, but that's not really a tragic past for him. Like, nothing tragically happened. It just spurred him forward.
Yeah, that's about it.
Sanji, he starved. Yes, he had tragedy. He started, and then you go into the whole Cake Island stuff. He had tragedy in his past, but Zoro, not really.
And then Luffy, his friend died, but then he didn't.
Yeah.
So, that's the captain.
And on top of that, his original past was this super strong pirate I like lost an arm for me. That was his past.
That's it.
And that's Luffy.
Tragic backstory does not equal a prerequisite to the Straw Hats.
As we will see, there are 3 big reasons for this. The purpose of the time skip, the complex political structures of the New World, but most importantly, Jinbe's selfless personality.
Is that not all the Straw Hats? Is that not all?
Usopp came back for the Tontanas. Come on! He's like, I'm dead here, but make me a statue!
Everybody is selfless in the Straw Hats for the most part.
Like, don't just attribute this to Jinbe, unless that's just his main personality trait, in which case, brrr, great character, Oda.
Jinbe does not have a really tragic past. The fish people have the tragic past. The killing of the queen, and Fisher Tiger dying because of trying to help humans, spurring on this hatred of humans. His past is no more or less tragic than Arlong's, because it's the same past. So, for now, we technically don't know Jinbe's past. We know the past of the Sun Pirates, and we know the past of the Fish People.
They never needed a helmsman.
I was just about to say this. One, they got to in Wano without a helmsman. Where was he needed? They got through the New World without a helmsman. When was he needed? Why is he needed now?
That was the most artificial thing where he was just like, yeah, he's always... you could just feel Oda's hands just going, yeah, here he is. Perfect. And I did not like that because you didn't need it. All this time we've been seeing everybody else do it, and no, we've never commented on we needed a helmsman. Now all of a sudden we need one.
I can understand, you know, the Straw Hats don't need a sniper. But they never went, my God, we're completely frozen without this sniper. Nami, who's been steering everything, doesn't know about this this sea phenomenon. It's just like, I'm completely frozen. There's nothing we can do. Until Jinbe turns around with his words of resolve to go, we gotta get through this.
But now, let's dive right into the world of our karate-loving fishman.
Does he love karate?
I don't know.
In his backstory, we will not only see that it fulfills the requirements for being a Straw Hat, but also give...
There are no requirements for being a Straw Hat.
Not even being strong, because Luffy wanted that dude in the treasure chest. He's asked people who are trees to be part of his crew. He doesn't care.
He didn't know about Brook, and he went, hey, join up, my dude. Get in there.
There's not a prerequisite. He asked a tree to be his crewmate. There's a prerequisite for us, the audience, but for him, he don't give a
He don't care.
Being the only non-human in the crew, next to Chopper, who at least ate the human fruit.
Come on, dude. You're trying to shoehorn in Jinbei's uniqueness.
Absolutely. And he had to go other than Chopper, but asterisk, Chopper's not a human. It doesn't matter.
They have a cyborg, a reindeer, and a living skeleton, and you're going, but Jinbei's not human, so him unique.
It doesn't. Who cares?
Who cares? Chopper was picked on.
I was just about to say that.
So, can't say
Once
that.
he showed up as a human, he was picked on by both humans and the reindeer.
So I can't say Jinbei is the first person you see the racial inequality for.
So, as you can see, Jinbei clearly fulfills the criterion of having a tragic backstory.
Oh.
His backstory.
Oh, okay. I guess. Oh, we're just done with that. So, orphan, racist, not racist anymore.
Straw Hat.
Straw Hat. I don't want to be like, oh, Luffy's about to fight Shanks and Jinbei's fighting Ben Beckman. How does this racially impact the story? What's the racial implications behind this fight? I don't know. You're going right into he has knowledge of the world. Too much knowledge. And it doesn't matter if he is what Brook could have been. I don't care if Brook went around. Brook would be made worse if he went around going this, and this. You know what we got? Brook going, oh yeah, I remember that weird upstart Gold Roger. That was it.
We already have two people with vast knowledge on the crew in Robin and Nami. And now we're just going to bring on this third to further expand the knowledge. And it's not like, you either have to dial them way back to prop up Jinbei, or he's just another mouth that knows. Because if they go to a next island and they go, if Nami would and Robin would have to go, I don't know about this island, and Jinbei go, well, here's the story of this island.
Serious and proud warrior. However, if the
Zoro.
circumstances allow for it, he shows us his light-hearted and gentle
Zoro.
side.
What? Where? What? Was that all you had?
There was that time. There was him laughing at the Straw Hats when Sanji was like, I don't need your help or something. And he said, aha, you guys are funny. And I think he laughed with Luffy at Fishman Island at some point.
So again, we're going back to Roman Reigns. We're counting moves at this point. I don't see him making snowmen with the Straw Hats.
I don't see him running around chasing Luffy and Usopp after their current hijinks like a Zoro or a Sanji or any other Straw Hat would. Where does he fit in the hierarchy of the way the Straw Hats play with and off each other?
If you ever wondered why Jinbe needs the Straw Hats in the first place, this is why.
Pause.
Jinbe,
He doesn't need the Straw Hats. He's almost 50 or over 50? Are you telling me that in the twilight of his life, I don't know how long Fishman lived, but now he needs the Straw Hats?
I think
you telling me he hasn't laughed before he met Luffy?
Yeah, with his whole the whole guard that he leaves, they were all just joking with each other and having fun and elbowing each other.
Are you telling me that his crew are 100% serious? Nobody's laughing, nobody's joking? And he needs the Straw Hats in order to get that part of him out of himself? Come on! That's not a character!
Yeah, that's awful. Look at this shot you keep showing, this spread. You see how everybody else is laughing except Zoro because he's trying to get more liquor? And then look at Jinbe!
Very stoic. That's his, and your eyes go instantly right to him going, what's his problem? Why isn't he laughing and having fun? What's the problem?
however, he also brings
Just looking at the camera, no fun.
Mad salty. He's not having a drink. He's not looking at anybody. Nothing.
He's in the background with his arms folded going, "Rrr."
So far we've got tragic backstory. He needs to get more lighthearted and him big strong. Wow.
Nope. And him also big smart.
I don't care. Brook brings almost nothing to the crew. Luffy just said, I want a musician.
And I love Brook.
He's not particularly strong. He's not particularly smart. He's if anything, he's a burden because he's a weird piece of
that stands out at all times.
But he's welcome. You gotta try to justify this. We saw Brookie, he's farting at the dinner table and burping and yelling for food. Like, I want that dude in the crew because he seems fun. I don't want them to go to Elbaf and just go, all right, here's my encyclopedic knowledge of Elbaf. Here we go. And they're walking around going, here's this, and this. I don't want that. You got Jack, King, Queen, and Kaido. I don't want them to just go, okay, Luffy, Zoro, Sanji, and Jinbe. I don't want that. I would rather have them go, Queen, okay, we got Brook, we got Frankie, we got a Chopper. Let's see how they fight against Queen. Since they're all not strong enough one-on-one. I don't want that. I don't care about big strong.
This is complemented by the fact that he has mastered Fishman Karate, possibly making him one of the strongest fighters underwater.
Pause. He's mastered something. Who else in the crew can say that they mastered something?
Zoro is the second strongest, and he's still working. Luffy is literally working on one of the forms of hockey right now. He just evolved one of his hockeys the last arc. Everybody is still learning.
When Zoro chopped Pika, he was like, Mihawk could have done this better. So he's already like... and this dude, he's mastered Fishman Karate. Who else do we know that's better? How does he grow? Who does he learn from? He's the best at Fishman Karate, assumedly. Where does he go? Making him one of the strongest fighters underwater. Okay. So now, every time there's a fight, it's just like, oh, Jinbe's getting destroyed. Now he just goes underwater and he beats. He wins, because we've seen him overturn ships underwater easily. That's not interesting.
It's not.
He's a master of something.
Jinbe also takes the role of the helmsman. While the crew somehow managed so far without...
Pause. So his whole thing was him big strong. Look at him big strong. Oh, he's also a helmsman. You didn't have to say that he's strong. We know that he's strong. And that doesn't, again, not a prerequisite for the Straw Hats. And who cares? Brook ain't strong. Dude. You don't need to convince me that somebody needs to be strong to join the Straw Hats.
I am really disliking the way he just kind of threw shade at Nami by going, they've somehow managed this. It's because of her greatness that they've managed it. Because the crew is a bunch of slapdash crew people. So anybody could take the helm and Nami goes, turn hard to the right. And they turn hard to the right and it worked out because she's just that good.
And also, Frankie made an amazing ship.
But now we need this guy to steer the ship. When has this been shown? Oh, in that one moment that Nami froze up for X reason? Now, I can understand if she went, I froze up because Big Mom was barreling down on us in in wave of water. But she goes, I don't know about this phenomenon. Nami! So now it's going to be a bunch of situations. In order for you guys to go, yeah, this is why we need Jinbe as the helmsman, there's got to be a situation that presents itself to where Nami goes, I don't know what's going on. Don't worry, I'll handle this, Nami. Just like that Big Mom thing.
And you're just bringing her down. Who is the red-haired pirates helmsman? Who's Big Mom's? She was shown sailing to Wano. Is it just that if people are knowledgeable enough, they can get through without one?
In general, Jinbe's need is always focused around his initial hatred towards the humans for what they did to his people. He needs to find a way to break the wheel of hatred inside himself before he can start breaking the wheel in general.
Already did.
Especially
At this point, what forms of racism has he showed? He's done with that. You already said initial racism. That's done. His character arc is done.
This is what I want to know. This is what I always say about Jinbe. If his dream, as people assume it is, but it's not his dream because he's never spoken about this, it's just a desire of his. If his dream is to bring together fishmen and humans relations better, he's not going to accomplish that by being on the Pirate King ship. He's going to do that by being a diplomat of the Fishman people. He was better being in Fishman Island and traveling the world and speaking at conferences and stuff than going, I'm gonna make Luffy the Pirate King for my people.
Because then if you do have Green Bull versus Jinbe, it's just like, you got a newspaper headline of Fishman kills Marine Admiral. And you go, uh-oh. You think people are gonna trust you for that? And then you just got freaking King Neptune going, hey, fishmen aren't doing too well down there. Y'all want to help? Maybe that's the way to do it.
Hey, you see how when King Neptune went to that summit for the first time and everybody was cool after the fact? Do more of that. As opposed to, I'm gonna make Luffy the Pirate King. That's my dream.
And then all of these diplomatically ran nations will respect fishmen somehow. Because Luffy will decree it?
his dream is to make coexistence, equality, and friendship between humans and fishmen possible, and put his people out of the misery under that they have been suffering for centuries.
He accomplished that better by not being on Luffy's ship. Zoro can only be the strongest swordsman by traveling the world. Nami can only draw a map of the world by traveling the world. Frankie has to see the way his ship goes through. Usopp can quit right now, but he still wants to go see Elbaf. Everybody needs to travel for their dream except Jinbe.
He's better served elsewhere. He could literally go from island to island going, what's y'all problems? Let me help.
Being a proud warrior of the sea, Jinbe has a strong sense of loyalty and duty.
Who doesn't?
That doesn't have anything to do. Even bad people have a strong sense of duty and loyalty. You think Mr. One isn't freaking super loyal and has a sense of duty to Mr. Zero? What's that got to do with anything? That has nothing to do with chivalry or the way you build yourself up through this racist former self.
No, only Jinbe is all these things.
What are you talking?
No one in the Straw Hats is loyal. That's just a fact. It's only Jinbe. These are the traits that are important to him. These things that everyone is. This is not an interesting character that he is describing. He is loyal, he is steadfast, he is true, he is just. And that's the foundation to build a character. Then you add stuff on there. Frankie's also a weird centaur man. Great. He has all these weird inventions, but he's also steadfast and true and loyal and just and strong and all these things. But this is all Jinbe is. He is the skeleton of a character.
He always seems to think things through and then reach a conclusion to when and how something should be done.
Like Sanji?
Oh my goodness.
You're just describing Straw Hats.
That's all he's doing, but Straw Hats, but worse. Straw Hats in their very baseline. Nothing more.
Jinbe's most defining trait, his sense of selflessness. Like no
Oh, wait, continue. Like no other.
other character in the story does he center his life around that of others. Jinbe would die for his people or for Luffy. Their fate.
You know,
Like Robin?
bruh, Robin was about to.
For these people that she's known for weeks.
She was about to sacrifice the world for these people. Not just herself, the world.
For somebody she's known for weeks.
And you
they
know
had
what?
been together for one arc.
Two, technically. But I understand.
1.5.
No, it was two. Skype and Davy back.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about Davy back. Oh, how dare I?
Yeah, no, don't forget about Davy back. It was awesome. We have seen Zoro willing to sacrifice himself and Luffy when Kuma goes, here's all of Luffy's hurt and suffering, have a taste, and then he sticks his entire body into it. So you're just describing Zoro.
Sanji, Whole Cake Island. I guess I'm gonna be part of a Yonko's crew in order to save my people. What again?
Nami, I'm gonna ostracize myself from all the people I love and care about to save them.
Luffy, I'm gonna poison myself in order to get one hit off of you. And that hit's gonna hurt.
So what are you talking
Usopp,
about?
the Tontatas.
You could just stop with Usopp. There's
Just Usopp, baseline.
just baseline. So that means nothing. You're just pointing out, like you said, skeleton of a character. The skeleton of a Straw Hat.
Multiple times during the war at Marineford, ensuring his survival.
Pause. Akainu is a monster. And Jinbe is at least holding his own with very few signs of injury. Isn't that a problem? Who else do you know? Sanji couldn't take Dofi.
Nah, he got wiped out.
He was about to die. But this dude is taking magma to the hands full force multiple times.
I don't want to get too deep into why the theme of Fishman Island was racism and how Oda draws parallels to our society. I think that would need.
Cause it's racist stuff going on.
Done. In what way did him joining and leaving the Big Mom Pirates, how did that, where's racism in that? She's gonna destroy the island not because they're fish people, but because you didn't give me my candy. You guys have good candy. I like your candy. Give me your candy. No candy, destroy. Has nothing to do with racism. He's protecting his people, yes, but if they were just some human people, it'd be the exact same outcome.
An entire video on its own. But I think we can all agree that with Jinbe, Oda tries to introduce a character that struggles with the way his people are treated by the rest of the world, and at the same time tries to work for a better future. Obviously, his backstory sets the premise for this development. Being exposed to the cruelty towards his people, young Jinbe develops a deep hatefulness towards the humans.
Pause.
Bruh,
You are
repeated
repeating yourself so much.
This is like the 3rd time you've said this.
This is the 8th time you done showed this shot.
This is an 18-minute video and you had a 40-second preamble skit.
As a result, he overcomes his first moral need and starts dedicating his life to creating a more positive world for the fishmen.
He has failed for 50 years.
100% failure.
Bruh, you're nowhere closer. And you think being on the Pirate King, at least with Carrot, Pedro goes, I think these are the prophesized people.
And they're also good people. They're trying to help their friend. Where this dude literally let an island be under tyrannical
dictatorship
for 11 years and just went sorry for not stopping that, as I could have easily done.
Seeing that Nami bears no ill feelings towards his people anymore, despite what happened to her,
she never bore ill will. She bore ill will to those ones. But when Kami came, she didn't go, my God, another fish person. When it was Granny Kokoro, she didn't go, my God, another fish person. When Hachi came, she went, it's Hachi.
If somebody in Kokoro Village had left and then became part of the world government, they would have been like, all right, all the fish people, because they did this to me and my village. You could have stopped that. If Arlong had not been defeated by Luffy, he still would have been over there doing that. So you just allowing this hate to just... You don't think that would cause people to hate fish people? Nami didn't, because she's a good person. But what about all the older people that like, this is some old bullshit?
He actually has some real character development left in the story for him to happen.
Where? What? Why? Huh?
So his character development is, I'm not happy, but y'all gonna make me happy. That's all that's left for him?
That's all?
That's it for Jinbe. Okay.
Who cares? Robin was very stoked. I never went, oh, I can't wait for her to just start lightening it up to the crew. I was like, no, she's this character and this is her character. But now that she's like, I trust these people, she starts being a little more silly. It's like, okay, that's good. Because she's trusting these people. She had this whole thing of, why trust people when they're just going to betray me? Now it's just, these people aren't going to betray me. So she lets down her guard a little bit.
For me. They go, they're probably going to come after Nico Robin. That's fine. I've got strong friends.
I've got my crew.
No problem.
No problem. That's what she said.
Very fascinating character. So,
he's not.
Who the hell is Jinbe?
Jinbe is one of the most symbolic and moral heavy...
Whoa, okay.
Symbolism, morals.
Oh, I would never. I love Usopp to death. I would never describe him as symbolic or thematic or any other. He's a good character. Point blank, period. Morally, yeah, whatever. Use the shot again.
Themes are not a character. So a character being thematically something is...
Because if King Neptune was just like, we want Fishman Island to be up above ground and no more racism. And people are like, yeah, okay. Then what? If there was no more racism, what would he have to his character? If racism was abolished tomorrow? Nothing.
The complex political structures of the New World with all the players involved would have been far less interesting to explore with someone in the crew who knew about all of this.
So he would have made the story worse. So Jinbe works because Jinbe not joining works because he would have made the series worse.
Oh man.
Do you know how terrible that is? That's what makes him good more than a character. What makes Jinbe more than a character is that it would have been worse with him.
Most important.
Here's my point, you guys. He would have easily beat Doflamingo, so he couldn't be on the crew yet. Eh? 2,000 thumbs up.
It was Jinbe's selfless personality that led him to prioritize the well-being of his people over joining in on the adventure right away.
How? And he's being selfish now. Because he's like, okay, I'm going to go join Straw Hats. What changed? What changed in those 3 weeks?
Big Mom can still easily just raise Fishman Island. Easily. It's not like they have any kind of protection.
And as far as we know, Jinbe didn't even know they were going to Whole Cake.
He knew they would get there eventually, but not
Didn't
even that,
know.
because they had to sail out of their way to
I
go
was
get
just about to
Sanji.
say that. The next arc was Wano for them. The next island was Wano. So what changed in those 3 weeks to where Jinbe is going, now I can join the Straw Hats? There are things I dislike greatly in stories. And one of them is something happening because something else needs to happen. Jinbe did not join because those things that the Straw Hats did needed to happen. And now he can join. For what reason? Nothing has changed in Fishman Island.
3 calamities.
And what's worse is the reverie was right around the corner or already happening, so the main guard and the king were gone. Or leaving soon. Leaving Shirahoshi. No, I think Shirahoshi went with them.
So the whole Fishman Island, Blackbeard could have just came down there and just destroyed everybody.
With no protection.
0 protection.
So what changed? Oh, nothing?
It was just a timing thing. He can join now. Because otherwise, he would have made it boring. Because he knows too much.
He knows too much, he's too strong, and he's too wrapped into the political aspects of it.
Keeping his relationship with Big Mom was crucial to not spark conflict for his country. As a result...
But then he didn't.
Now they're just fine.
He separated from them. The Straw Hats wouldn't have been there if they would have just went to Wano. He separates from them. Big Mom no longer wants to go after the Straw Hats, and she just goes, well, we're attacking Fishman Island then.
And you can't do nothing about it.
Because Jinbe is off trying to join the Straw Hats.
And you just got his crew of pretty strong fishermen, but they couldn't stand up to Hody.
And I was just about to say this. He's going, okay, I'll leave it in their protection. But then he's so scared of them fighting Big Mom, he goes, I'm going to stay behind, because otherwise they're probably going to get wiped out. So he can't trust them to save Fishman Island or protect it from any relatively strong pirates. Hody was not on the Straw Hats level. And they still couldn't overtake him.
He doesn't feel like a real Straw Hat yet, and still has gotten way more character development and action than some other crew members.
Who? First off, who? Second off, didn't you just say that he exhibited all the traits of a true Straw Hat, but he's not a true Straw Hat? Why? Oh. I guess I'm just throwing out words now, huh?
He's got more. What are you talking about? All of the development happened in flashbacks. It's done. So he changed from where he was to where he is now. Wow. Who hasn't?
And you talk about him being, the catalyst for a lot of plot things going forward. You can say the same for Frankie. They escaped a lot of their things. The ship, the whole ship stuff. Anytime something happens with the ship.
It's an amazing ship. They were just like, let's go get a secondhand ship. That'd be donezo by now.
So Frankie was the catalyst for a lot of plot stuff going forward.
This ain't a Frankie video though.
So who cares? Jinbe is nothing. And you have not shown why he is something.
Not at all.
0 video.
0? I wouldn't say 0. I'd say 1.
What's the 1? Was it edited well?
No.
Did he make a lot of good points?
No.
Did you dislike it vehemently?
But it wasn't offensive. He made a
Jinbe
lot.
brings
He made a
symbolism
lot
and personality.
He made a lot of bad points, but he didn't expand on them. He just went, Jinbe brings a lot of personality.
Isn't that worse?
But it's also better.
It's worse in that you're not even trying to. It's like me going, I'm white.
No, but then you go 10 minutes later, I'm white.
No, I go, I'm Caucasian.
This 0 does not equal another 0. If you give me a pizza that's burnt to a crisp, but then you also give me a fried sack of those are both 0s, but the fried sack is way worse.
You don't know that.
I'm just saying, I'll give him a 1.
Again, I understand where you're coming from, but there was nothing positive I could take out of that video. As my rating scale goes for how much positive can I get out of this video. I can get a 4 or 5 positive out of that Super Eye Patch Wolf video. I have 0 positive here.
I
and
dig
then
that.
That whole get 2,000 likes to do.
Yeah, that's bad. No, I dig it. But again, the floor is set at Golden Wind. And it does not equal that badness.
I will agree.
If I can bring that down further, I would give it a 0.
Okay, how about this? Instead of going 0 to 1, let's do the 0 to -10.
Okay. So that's Ocean is a -10, and this is like a -7.
That was a -10. I would call this a -8.
Yeah, I dig that.